Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, it's actually my evening time here. I want to talk about a couple of knives. Actually, I've grabbed this one here. I've got another one just on the other side. This is going to be a review and my experience with this particular one for the last probably couple of months, and now I've sold it today actually. So pretty much in brand new condition, but I just want to give you guys the whole experience just in case that any of my subscribers is looking at one of those at the secondary market, because they are gone. Now, this is a Maxace or Maxace Babylon 2. Okay, this is the version. There are two versions of it, I believe. One is the gray tie. This one is the, just want to get the focus right. This is the brown stonewash handle with satin blade, made in China. Now, if you guys in the community for a while, you know there are the many Chinese brands or Chinese manufacturers that are being in the marketplace for the last decade. And if you sort of counting in terms of numbers of them, that how many are receiving progressive reviews and I guess acceptance in the global market. Ria being one of them. I think Ria is still on the top. Of course, I think everybody else is really playing the catch-up games, just in my opinion. And Maxace is a brand that I believe that still got a bit of distance to what Ria does. But of course, there's no doubt about that. But Maxace, the Maxace brand as a whole, is improving. This model, I'm just gonna do the unboxing. It's got all the details of their socials behind it. I think it's really good. They have their own philosophy of packaging. Again, back to what I was saying. I think Maxace, because this particular knife was a production of the 2022 model. So what they're doing now is better, I believe, than what this knife shows. Of course, from a hierarchy standpoint, the Babylon don't sort of stand on the pinnacle of what Maxace does. It's sort of the mid tier, the entry point to the mid tier, judging by the price. I think as a retail price perspective, this one was retailing about maybe 200 or 220. So this one's the product parameter. I'm not sure what they're doing exactly, the format of what's in the box now, but I kind of like it. Right? It's really nice because, again, it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes money to produce those, right? It has all the specs when it comes to material of the handle, blade material M3090, lock, the plunger lock or button lock, 158 grams, thickness about 4 millimeters, blade length, I think just over 3 inches, and of course you have the overall length and the handle length as well. All right, so that's in the box. You have another card here. Again, they're probably keeping changing things up, but I do like what they've done 3 years ago. And here's a nice pouch. I think MC Studio is the designer brand of the Maxace. If anyone knows, please comments on the section down below so I can learn from you. But I think MC Studio represent what Maxace does from a designer perspective. Now, what's in the pouch, of course, includes the knife, and you have a branded cleaning cloth, which is a great ad, in my opinion. Those little things, they all enhance part of the collection journey, if you will. And I think if you are in the marketplace to build your diverse in terms of brand and a certain depth, all those little things will help, because next time when you're buying a Maxace, then you will sort of have some expectation when it comes to overall experiences with it. Now, here's the knife. Here's the knife. I just want to give you guys a detailed look of it in the beginning, and then I'll talk about my experiences with it. Maybe in, let me get the focus right here, guys. Maybe in 3 different categories. Okay, so just some detailed looks for now. go. Okay, now the way that I talk about my knife, regardless is the first impression or sort of long-term review, or including today's knife, which is the one that I'm going to go to a new home tomorrow, Monday. I'll post it tomorrow. Is I talk about my experiences when it comes to 3 categories. Number 1, I want to talk about the design. And then, of course, the way that I look at design could be the ones that you agree or disagree, but that is completely up to you. And then I'll move on to how he feels at the hands as, a part of your collection, when you're handling it. And of course, the last topic I'll talk about is the utility of how it feels when you're actually using it. Or I spend majority of my time looking at this as a piece of art, as to all my knives, big or small, expensive or inexpensive. But that's the way I interpret things. Okay, so let's start with the design. I think the design language of the Babylon is pretty good. It has its own intrinsic sort of the shape of it, because it's named after Babylon. I think, is Babylon a god? I think I could be wrong here, but it has its presence. It's a large knife, right? It's what we call a full size knife. And the choices of using a button lock here, which is a very good button lock, extremely smooth. There's zero lock stick whatsoever. That is a very rare thing to see, because majority of the button locks are, I guess, a lot smaller than this, but this is quite large. So the design language, it has its own uniqueness. A lot of people will like it. A lot of people will dislike it, because you can pick up a few points. The shape of the blade is very pointy. It has a very sort of drop points looking at the belly of the blade, but it has a bit of reverse tanto sort of curve up, right? The thumb stud is for some collectors, I can tell they will like it because how sort of pronounced, how strong language it is. But some collectors will dislike it because it is simply a bit of out of shape. It's the same size as the pivot, right? And then speaking of pivot, you have this size. There's no access of the pivot from this end, but it does have, I think it could be about a T8 or T10 from the other side. So very futuristic when it comes to design of the pivot. The button that they use at the button lock, I like it. I think it is very hand fulfilling. You don't really need to find where that button is in order to use it. Naturally it's going to be just around the pivot. And then again, like I said, this very smooth drop shotty. There is zero lock stick. They've integrated a locking system when it comes to this button lock version, because the Babylon 1, I think, which was produced in 2021, did not have a locking system, and this one does. So we're going to talk about it in a minute when it comes to the function and utility of it. The overall titanium work is fine. Is not one of the best that I've seen. Of course, judging by the price, you can tell. The fit and finish is okay. It's actually part of the reason why I'm selling it, because it doesn't give me that a premium feeling. Of course, I know the price is only just above 200, but it doesn't give me that premium feeling that I think a good size, full size button lock Maxace should have. So if they do ever release a Babylon version 3, I do hope there are a few areas that can truly improve. When it comes to design language of the, I guess this is not the back spacer, but the full back support here between the knife, it's very strong language. You've got that very strong knurling, blocky size sort of here. You guys can tell, very comfortable at hands, because it does create a lot of friction, but at the same time, there's no hot spot. because how large they are. I think it's good sort of design language as well, because again, we're looking at a full-size knife. When we turn this around, you can find the pocket clip right here. This is not a sort of a deep carry by any shape or forms. But again, I think it's very elegant. Judging at the size of the knife, I think they've done the pocket clip really nice. I like just give you guys some close up here. I like the design language of those sort of curvature around the sides and beautiful milling in the middle. I'm not sure whether this is ceramic ball, but I do like the design of using something in that sort of giving you some interesting little details on the knife. Babylon 2 M390 2022 version. The construction of the blade is okay. It's not. I think they could have done a better job with the satin finish. It looks a bit cheap, if I can say that. Just again, in my personal opinion, even judging at a $200 knife, I think when it comes to cost of it, you can say for a large size, well done, well-known Chinese manufacturer, that it is okay to ask 200, but I do wish they've done a better job with the satin finish sort of work on that blade. And you can tell there's a bit of not rough edges, but they've sort of sand the whole area around here. So when you do use your knife, just to give you guys, so if you do a reverse flip, you definitely have that sort of interaction with that area. Personally, I would hope if they just keep that whole thing as a satin finish, I think that would look good. But again, they've done what they've done here. So that's the way that's the same sort of fashion I think they designed for a lot of blades that they have produced. Okay, so you will see that on the channel as well. Now we'll move on to the second topic, that is how it feels when you actually only owning it as a part of your collection. You're not really using it. Now, this is the area where I felt that is a bit let down of the knife, because overall it gives me a bit. It's not flimsy by any means. The button lock is extremely solid, but overall it just doesn't give me that wow factor that, you know, the knife is not speaking to me as much as Felix, come grab me up. So that's actually contribute the main reason why I decided to let it go. Right now, speaking of the construction of the knife, the locking system, guys, you can see here. I just want to give you guys a bit of close up here, just in case anyone's looking at buying one of those. I don't like how the lock works, because it is when you're deploying it, you have to make sure the lock is unlocked. But when you actually want to lock it up like this, you will find it's only a piece of metal. Do you see that one there? There's no resistance of sort of movement here. So if I tap the knife, I'll just give you guys an example. If I tap the knife, you can tell that the lock unlock itself. So that speaks to me that whoever designed this lock didn't do their job properly, or someone made a decision of putting that locking system in the knife, knowing that this is gonna happen. And frankly, I just don't like it. If you want to put something on your product, you want to make sure that it works for the true intention of it. And if a lock does this, then really it is not a lock. It is just something to play with, just in my view. So, you know, as a collector, it's got that presence. If you want a large, affordable sort of full titanium, if you like the look of it, if you like the design of it, you've got, you know, on the secondary market, I think between maybe about 130 to 160, I guess. That's the price. If you want to spend that money on a button lock, specifically you want a button lock, and you definitely want something that larger than 3-inch in blade length, then this could be a good option for you. All right, because I don't think those knives holding a value intention on the secondary market at all. So maybe you can get something between maybe 100 to 150, I don't know. But if you see something within that price range and you want to give it a shot, then I can agree with you. But unfortunately, with the way that I collect my folding knives now, this in the long term, this won't qualify as a part of the stable for the collection, which is the reason I'm selling it. Okay, so that concludes number 2, just from the eyes of mainly a collector and not a user. And number 3, I've you know, the utility and function of it. Now, when you using this knife in sort of real world, there are a few ways to deploy it. Now, because it has a thumb stop, so we're going to talk about it. Now, is it comfortable? Not really, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because the pocket clip is very thin. It doesn't give you enough friction sort of around this area here. And when you're pushing it, you can tell you need to really grip it that hard because the thumb stud is so large and it's so high. If the thumb stud was a lot smaller, then you'll be able to push them out very easily. But this is a bit awkward when it comes to the whole hand gesture when you sort of deploying it. It still works, but I can guarantee you, if you are sort of not that familiar with the thumb stud deployment, you will have a problem deploying it. Not as comfortable, if I can say. And the second way of deployment of that is you can do a spider flip like this. See that sort of, because there's no resistance, so it's very easy to sort of move around, right? The spider flip works, but again, I don't like how they've sort of sand the whole area around here. Then it gives a lot. If you look at my fingernails here, it gives a lot of, not damages, but it really scratches whatever you sort of interact with it. You can tell. You can tell what I mean. It literally shreds your fingers because how sharp. It is sanded okay, but because how strong you really have to use it, it's not a comfortable thing. And the third deployment method is you can use this as a button lock to deployment it, and that is okay. That is okay. That is probably one of the most comfortable deployment method out of the 3 that I see. So from a utility perspective, I think the blade is okay. It's got a big belly. It's strong behind the edge. It's strong behind the back, and it's very sharp out of the box. M390, we know that is good quality blade still, but overall, it's just a little bit awkward from a large size perspective. But again, if you want to try it out, I think between that sort of 100 to 150 bucks, if you want to give it a shout out to your own collection that equip one of the full tie, large full size button lock, I wouldn't think that's a too bad of idea to try them out between that 1 to 150. But would I recommend you buying a brand new at a 200? I wouldn't say so. I think you should save the 200 and putting that 200 into something else that's going to last a bit longer as a collector. So that's my view of the Babylon 2 2022 model. I think they stopped selling. Of course, they sold out as well. I think probably they sold out last couple years ago in 2023. But again, if you find it in the secondary market, no doubt go check them out if you wish. All right, guys, that's it for today. Babylon 2 2022 Maxace. And I hope you guys have a great time no matter where you're at. And I'll see you guys very shortly in the next one. Take care, guys.